Hey guys, alright? Welcome everyone. Logan, better known as Wolverine, wakes up in a limousine to find some thugs trying to steal his wheels. He tries to negotiate calmly, but one man attacks him with a shotgun. Although he's in intense pain, Logan gets up thanks to his regeneration factor due to the adamantium in his body and extends his claws, preparing to fight his way out of the situation. He's no longer the fighter he used to be, and his healing factor has deteriorated immensely, leaving him at a disadvantage against the thugs. After a brutal fight, he manages to kill almost all of them, and the rest of the thugs flee. Logan is covered in blood and decides to stop at a motel to change clothes. He has aged considerably since the events with the X-Men, and his healing factor is slowly failing. Now, he goes by his birth name, James Howlett, and works as a limo driver, making a living by chauffeuring clients. Logan waits for a client at a funeral when suddenly a Mexican woman named Gabriella approaches him and asks for his help, claiming to know his true identity. However, Logan brushes her off and departs with his client. One morning, he stops at a hospital, and a man named Donald Pierce helps him get back into the limo. He tells Logan that he knows about the incident with the thugs and that he's taking care of Charles Xavier across the border. When Logan asks what he wants, Pierce responds that he wants to know where Gabriella is, the woman who approached Logan at the funeral. Logan tells him that he doesn't know any woman named Gabriella, and Pierce hands him his card in case he needs to get in touch. The card indicates that Donald is the head of security at Alkali Transigen, a biotechnological corporation that irritates Logan, and he heads off to find Charles. He stops at an abandoned plant where he and Caliban, a fellow mutant, take care of Charles together. Caliban asks Logan to give Charles his medicine alone as he had a rough night, and Logan heads to a large silo tank. Inside the tank, he finds Charles speaking to himself and having seizures that cause a psychic explosion, paralyzing anyone nearby. Logan fights and manages to inject a serum to calm Charles. He takes him to bed, and Charles complains that Logan is waiting for him to die, and Logan leaves. He spends the night, and the next day, Caliban confronts Logan about Charles's medicine. He says the dosage is too low and it's tough to deal with Xavier's seizures. Caliban asks Logan to talk to him about his needs, but Logan tells him not to meddle in his affairs and leaves to pick up a client. He drops the clients at a party and soon receives another job for 2 passengers and drives to the location. He finds Gabriella and her daughter Laura, but there turns his back on them, but Gabriella offers him money to take her and her daughter to a place in North Dakota called Eden. When Logan asks Gabriella about her injuries, she says her boyfriend hurt her. She's trying to escape him and his men, asking Logan to take them right now, which he refuses. The next morning, he gets ready for the long trip and assures Charles that he'll get the money to buy a boat and live on the ocean. When he arrives at the motel, he finds Gabriella dead and her daughter Laura missing. Checking her phone, he finds an undelivered message and returns to Charles and Caliban. When he reaches the plant, Caliban finds a bag and a ball and questions Logan about it. They are interrupted mid-conversation when Donald Pierce arrives and questions Logan about Laura. Logan tells Caliban to take Pierce to the desert and leave him there. Caliban takes Pierce's body away, but an elite squad from Transigen, the Reavers, arrives. They grab Pierce after capturing Caliban and head towards Logan. While Charles tries to comfort Laura by offering her some cereal, Logan sees Pierce's men going after them and takes Charles with him to escape, leaving Laura behind, stating that she's not their problem to deal with. Logan and Charles can't escape and are now surrounded by Pierce and his men. When Logan asks about Caliban, Pierce says he left him where he wanted Pierce to be, which infuriates Logan. He tries to fight back but is overpowered by the soldiers and pinned to the ground. Pierce orders one of his men to take Laura outside, and as the man approaches to handcuff her, she kills him, tearing his head apart. Laura walks out holding the man's head and throws it in front of Pierce, leaving him terrified and telling his men not to provoke her further. She advances, producing 2 adamantium claws on each hand and 1 on each foot, and fiercely attacks the Reavers. Despite their best efforts to bring her down, Pierce tells them she can regenerate, like Wolverine himself, and sends his men to capture her. Laura goes berserk and brutally kills everyone in sight. To capture her, Pierce shoots a harpoon, but Logan comes to her rescue and helps her fight the Reavers. After a struggle to avoid being killed in various ways, the 3 barely manage to escape and Donald brings Caliban to track them, threatening him with sunlight, which burns his skin. Logan finds a video from Gabriella documenting the illegal experiments carried out at Transigen and discovers that some children, including Laura, were conceived and raised in the facility to become assassins and weapons. When the video shows Laura, the phone's battery dies, and Logan wonders what she might be. Charles tells him that Laura is his daughter, as Transigen has his genetics, but Logan rejects his claim. Meanwhile, Laura tries to take some items from a general store, and when the clerk tries to stop her, she lunges at him, pointing her claws at his face. Logan arrives in time and tells her it's not right, picking up a phone charger and some cigars before leaving the store. During the night while the phone charges, Logan watches the rest of the video. Gabriella says the experiment was a complete failure since the children had too much emotion and didn't want to fight, and to replace them, a new weapon was created. Soon, orders were given to kill the children, and Laura decided to transfer as many children as possible to a place called Eden, where there are other mutants. In the video's closing moments, Gabriella confesses that Laura is not her daughter, but that she loved her as one, stating that Logan is her biological father. Her final words to Logan are to take Laura to a safe place. The trio arrives in Oklahoma City to rest and continues on to Eden. In the room, Logan checks Laura's bag and finds some documents containing information about the children and some X-Men comics. He assumes that Laura has been lying to them about the existence of Eden and goes out to find a new vehicle. Later, in a bar, Logan discovers that the X-Men comic Laura has contains coordinates to reach Eden. When he returns to the hotel, he finds the Reavers following them, and Charles has another seizure, as he avoided taking the pills given to him. Being the only partially paralyzed one, Logan struggles to reach Charles and finds Charles and Laura surrounded by Pierce's men. To his surprise, just like Logan, Laura is also partially paralyzed due to the seizures, and Logan kills all the men in the room before injecting Charles with the serum, finally stopping the seizures. The three then escape before Pierce could get his hands on them. On the other hand, Dr. Rice from Transigen arrives and approaches a locked-up Caliban. The trio narrowly avoids an accident on the road with a robotic cargo truck, and some horses are released from a trailer due to the same incident. Charles uses his telekinetic powers to help the horses safely get back into the trailer, and Logan offers to help get their vehicle back on the road. The driver introduces himself as Will Munson, accompanied by his wife Catherine and their son Nate. Catherine invites Logan and his family to have dinner with them, an offer that Xavier gladly accepts. They laugh about how Logan used to be a troublemaker at Xavier's school, and after dinner, Catherine asks the three of them to stay the night, an offer Logan reluctantly accepts. Charles asks Logan not to be so harsh with Laura in the bathroom as she's just a child. In the morning, Logan returns to Charles, and Charles asks him not to wake Laura and let her sleep for another hour. He says it was the perfect night he had in a long time, but that he doesn't deserve it since he was responsible for the incident in Westchester. Charles apologizes to Logan, but Logan pushes his claws into Charles's chest, and Laura tries to fight him to defend Charles. The person attacking Charles isn't Logan but the exact clone marked as X-24. The weapon then kills Catherine and her son and starts taking Laura with him to Dr. Rice. Logan faces X-24 and is stunned to see a clone of himself, then goes to find Charles, but only to find him severely wounded. As he takes Charles to his vehicle, confessing that it wasn't him, X-24 brutally kills the thugs that Logan had previously scared away, and Dr. Rice can't control him. Charles dies in Logan's arms, and an enraged Logan approaches the weapon to confront him. Dr. Rice calls Pierce for reinforcements, but Caliban detonates 2 grenades to kill himself along with Pierce. Initially, Logan has the upper hand against X-24, but being genetically modified, the weapon turns the tables on Logan, nearly killing him. Suddenly, Will crashes into X-24 with his truck, pinning him against sharp objects. He hits him with a shotgun and then points the gun at Logan. The weapon runs out of ammunition, and Will collapses, dead. Logan rescues Laura, takes her with Xavier's body, and leaves. The next morning, Dr. Rice and his team take care of the scene and inject X-24 with an agent to help him heal. Logan gives Charles a proper burial, just as Laura. She tries to comfort him, but Logan goes back to his truck only to destroy it with a shovel and then collapses on the road. Later, he wakes up in a clinic, and the doctor greets him. He says he's always wanted to see a mutant and suggests that Logan undergo an examination as he's aware of the adamantium poisoning, but Logan disagrees and leaves with Laura. Logan thanks Laura for taking him to the clinic, and she responds in Spanish, which surprises Logan. When he asks if she can speak, Laura mumbles her friends' names and shows him the comic book with the coordinates to Eden. They argue about the existence of Eden, and Logan angrily agrees to drive to North Dakota to prove that Eden doesn't exist. They are on their way to North Dakota, but Logan is exhausted. Laura asks to drive, but he disagrees, and Laura complains that he wants to kill himself, just like Charles told her. She orders him to rest, and Logan falls asleep, and Laura takes over to continue their journey. Finally, they reach North Dakota, and an elevator is provided to safely transport Logan. Rictor, a fellow mutant, provides Logan with a transigen serum and warns him to take small doses to aid in his healing. He awakens from a nightmare and finds Laura staring at him. Laura tells him she has nightmares too, where people tend to hurt her, but Logan tells her that his dreams are the opposite of what she sees. Laura hands Logan the adamantium bullet he was carrying as a reminder of what he is, but Logan says he's thinking about using it to end his life. Logan falls asleep again, and Laura takes the bullet from his hand. The next morning, the children play a prank on Logan by cutting his beard, which he doesn't find funny. He contacts Rictor and tells him to leave before transigens people find and kill them, and Rictor replies that they will leave before dawn. Rictor offers Logan money as a token of appreciation for helping Laura get there, but Logan returns it, saying the children need him. Logan tells Laura that he did what he had to do by getting her to Eden and emotionally explains that everyone he cares about dies, and it's better if he leaves. Laura bitterly replies that she'll be fine. The next day, Logan finds himself alone at the site, and all the children have started their journey to cross the border. He sees that the Reavers have caught up with them and grabs the healing serum to chase them. Despite using their powers, the Reavers outnumber the children and pick them off one by one. The men surround Laura to stop her, but Logan comes to her rescue. The father-daughter duo manages to kill the Reavers, and Laura notices that Logan took the serum all at once. Dr. Rice confronts Logan and warns him not to make any suspicious moves, as he's pointing a gun at all the children. He introduces himself as the son of the scientist who injected adamantium into Logan and was killed by Wolverine himself. Rice takes responsibility for the extinction of mutants thanks to a virus developed by Transigen that was introduced into food supplies. Before he can continue, Logan shoots him in a desperate move and goes after Pierce. Pierce releases X-24, and the weapon overpowers Logan. Laura intervenes to fight for Logan, but Pierce holds Logan with a harpoon gun. Seeing that Pierce has complete control over X-24, the children unite and use their collective powers to kill him. Rictor uses his powers to flip a tank onto X-24, and Logan tells the children to get away from there quickly. To their surprise, X-24 is not affected by the attacks and returns to Logan for a second round. Logan's healing factor has completely failed, leaving him entirely vulnerable to attacks now, and seeing this, Laura uses the adamantium bullet to shoot X-24, obliterating his head. She rushes to Logan to cut the tree he was impaled on. Logan is dying, but he's content when Laura calls him Dad. The children mourn Logan's death and bury him. They are now free and decide to continue their journey. The movie then ends with Laura taking the cross from Logan's grave and tilting it to resemble an X.